Hi everyone, thank you for joining me this wonderful and beautiful winter's eve. Behind me is a very beautiful expression of Ukrainian culture that's happening right now. And in this event they're singing folk songs. And isn't it great that Ukrainians have a safe place to express their European culture without threat of violence, unlike other nations in Europe. And this is where I have to say some very unfortunate and dark things when it comes to my absolute tiredness of a certain aspect of Polish nationalism, which complains so much about the Ukrainian presence here of real doctors, scientists, and engineers, who seemingly have a generational bone to pick. And I'm not saying I can't be understanding, but what seems to be missed by the Polish nationalists of this sentiment is the fact that the Ukrainians are being genocided, and that they will... No, I'm sorry, I don't use such absolute terms, but they are suffering greatly. Their reproductive numbers are being drastically dwindled. I mean, their fertility rates have dropped, I mean, like much of Europe. And this is an organized genocide. And I wish these Polish nationalists of such sentiments would have so much to espouse about the Israelis, and I can only say Israelis, not to be too politically insensitive, or else I could get into some trouble. Maybe I should call them Brazilians. I don't know. Let's just call them I can't even call them Brazilians. Maybe let's just stick with Israelis. Now this is organized. This genocide is nothing but a Holodomor 2.0. It's a Bolshevik revolution 2.0. Well, not revolution. Sorry. This is a Bolshevik attack, genocide. A new Holodomor, and the fate of the Ukrainians is the fate of the rest of Europe. We have the formerly widest country, the most Aryan country in Europe, being decimated. And, as much as also, Poles will be upset with me for some of these Polish nationalists will be upset with me for sympathizing with the Ukrainians, but on the other side, I get also hate from another group of Polish nationalists who, hated my position for sympathizing with whites in general, for being pro-peace in this situation, because no matter what, when you look at plenty of those drone video feeds of drone strikes, explosions, attacks, it's always white men who are dying in those videos. Show me one, I stress you to show me one video where it's a non-white, as being claimed by some of these, I would say Russophobes. They spend so much of their time, really, obsessing over Russia, who attack me for simply having the position that I don't want any more white people to die. Because this is a time when we really have to put forth all our efforts to oppose Israeli supremacy. Because that's who's organizing it on all sides, and that's a lot of these people, a lot of these types of toxic nationalists refuse to acknowledge is the Israeli control on all sides of this conflict, whether it's the Russian, the Ukrainian, or the American intentionally mishandling this whole entire conflict and organizing it into a genocide, and just the kind of future that is waiting for us if we do not unite and struggle against the fact that this is completely Israeli. And I hope you listening to this, who maybe are one of these toxic nationalists who can't seem to wrap your head around the fact that this is not something that is being organized in the hands of the Ukrainians or the Russians or whoever other than the Israelis. And maybe when it comes to Poland, the next whitest Aryan nation in Europe, maybe you will start to think differently. An American Russo alliance led by Israelis to destroy us. Wake up.